Hey guys, welcome back. So let's discuss a little bit about how the Matrix operates in a sense today. I recently watched the movie Spirited, and if you haven't watched that already and you would like to watch that without me potentially spoiling it for you, pause this video, go watch it, come back, and we'll see if he picked up on the same stuff I picked up on in regards to this information and what it was detailing regarding to how this matrix really operates. Now, they're not going to show you everything in movies. Um, they're not going to give you the full truth, but they're going to show you the, I guess, the methods behind what they're doing. But they're going to use it. They're going to paint it in the perspective that they want you to see, that they want you to conclude, right? Just like with the movie Soul, right? They showed you, oh, the soul, it's given a personality, and then you got to go to the white light. You got to go up the what's it called, the elevator belt. Go to the white light, and at first he rejects it, and he sees the inner workings of the matrix of how these things are fashioned, and the soul is given this ego identity, this personality, in which it has all these likes and dislikes and traumas and things built into it, right? Oh, you're gonna have this, and you're gonna be a brat, or specific things of what's going on in those scenes, and then boof, oh, you're ready for Earth, time to go, right? And for some reason, it's like, what's only Earth? Why only Earth? And then they get here, and it's a beautiful movie. I was very, very enlightened by it. At least at first, it felt very inspirational. It felt very beautiful. But you have to remember, I was thinking all to myself, how could how could such a beautiful movie be on Disney? Like Disney, who's known for what they're known for and showing that type of graphic material to kids in their cartoons. How could that movie be in Disney? And then through my experiences, I learned, oh, hold on, this is false light. This is telling you, go into light, the conveyor belt of souls, going into this mesmerizing, light, right? And it's like, oh, we're ready to recycle you, so come in. Really, it's just part of the projector of the matrix, part of the whole projection of the whole stage, of the whole play. So that's kind of what's shown in this movie, Spirited. We see that they're mainly trying to change people, right? There's this committee, this matrix committee of all these people, and one of them it's based off a Christmas story, right? With the three ghosts, ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And it's interesting because future is the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper is supposed to symbolize death, but it also symbolizes Saturn, right? And the Grim Reaper as an entity is not something that you necessarily want to have watching over you. Not just because it brings death, but because it's kind of an agent for Saturn, right? An agent for control, for bureaucracy, for those painful, traumatic experiences, potentially. And these are meant to really keep us inside the box, inside the cube of Saturn. So Ghost of Christmas Past just seems like a woman, like more like a teenager. She's like a middle-aged woman that's very childlike and actually ends up feeling very attracted to the potential person that they're trying to change. So she kind of messes up, and Will Ferrell, the main guy, gets involved in the ghost of as the ghost of Christmas present and past. So he's basically taken this purpose is the word I was looking for. This guy, Ryan Reynolds, who's deemed as an unredeemable, and that's basically what Will Ferrell was as well. So it is known that he had a life on Earth, right? But before all that, it was kind of foreshadowing, saying, they had just finished the case, right? They had just shown a woman how to be good and changed her effectively, right? Changed her for the better, that she was now going to go out and spread positivity in the world and be more of a positive, kind person, which I agree with. I mean, I think that's how we naturally are, these positive beings. But to get back to my other point, this other woman then comes to Will Ferrell and says, "Oh, you've been eligible for retirement for 40 something years. I forgot the number. I think it was 43. You should. I don't know what. No, are you sure you don't want to go back to Earth?" Or she was kind of like implying he should be back on Earth, right? Kind of nudging him, forcing even what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of manipulating him into wanting to go back to Earth, right? And again, why only Earth? Because where are these beings? They're basically actors, right? They're creating scenes for the perps of their lives, using their memories against them of where they made mistakes, right? And first of all, who knows if these beings even had lives on Earth? So who are they to judge us? Because the system is messed up to begin with, right? We have an ego. We come into this life, we experience trauma from the get-go, right? Forcing us, in a sense, to be these broken beings until we then heal, right? We try to get our stuff together. We try to be better people. And then these beings never even experienced any of that, and they're judging us. Who are they? Who is this council to judge us, or to guide us, even if they hadn't had lives here at all? First of all, and then second of all, why are they just able to control our simulation like that? Did they create the simulation? Are they in charge of the simulation? Why do they have such access to our memories? Yeah, we can't remember anything about them, right? I mean, when Will Ferrell eventually ends up going down into Earth, he still retains his memories, but we don't. Like, as an actual human being, we don't remember what's going on up there. And these people up there, I mean, they're made to seem very Earth-like. They're made to seem very egoic with their own personalities. And the ghost of Christmas Past ends up having like sex with the perp, which is a complete no-no. So obviously they still have a skewed sense of morality, apparently, at least in the movie. But it just makes you wonder, okay, so they're using scenes, they can manipulate the matrix. They're basically showing it's all acting. Everything in our lives is a play, is a stage set, a scenario, right? And they talk about, when Will Ferrell's foreshadowing going back to Earth, he's looking at his potential life in like a hologram in his palm, and it's like, oh, this is the story, and he's singing that I could have, right? And he's looking at it, and it's basically a script. It's already written, right? It's already set in stone, in motion, the larger events that are set to take place. So again, back to the script. Why are they writing these scripts for us? Who's doing this for us? Could it be that we're writing the scripts? We have some sort of say in it, right? But again, not outside of their reach, not outside of their limits. Because again, these beings, they're still essentially trapped. Like, there's nothing outside of it, in a sense. Because Ryan Reynolds starts running away from what Will Ferrell is showing him, right, from his memories, and he ends up going through different doors and ends up in different compartments until he finally ends up in the Matrix, the Matrix outside of this Matrix, outside of the Earth, and he's behind the scenes in a sense, behind the play, right? And he's like looking at all these beings, and he's like, what the heck? And they're looking at him like, oh, how did you get here, right? And that's basically the stage, right? The whole set. And the actors are not supposed to be back there because they don't know what's going on. They don't know that they're in a movie, that all these beings are basically watching them and toying with their lives and messing with them and trying to achieve whatever purpose they're trying to achieve. And even if it's, let's say, to make somebody more positive, right? They're trying to make someone kinder in the world. They're trying to shift that person. And they're trying to do it all in one night. I thought that was the point of this place, right? Was to learn the lessons. Yet it seems like all the people, and Ryan Reynolds makes this point, like, hey, humanity, even after all your attempts, has only gotten worse. Like, how many people have really gotten better with all your ripple effects? They mention ripple a lot. This movie is basically advertising for XRP, and they're trying to condition people to think Ripple is the good guy. It's subconscious. How many people were effectively changed, right? People come here and it gets worse. It doesn't get better, right? Because the system itself is broken. That's why people are depressed. That's why people have anxiety, because they're trying to operate in a high vibration around all this low vibrational status of functions and systems, that are effectively draining their life force, and they, at a soul level, at an essence level, feel that is completely unnatural, and they don't realize what the heck is going on, right? Because they haven't fully woken up to the travesties happening here. So they feel this depression, but because it's this routine soul sucking that's happening to them, and they don't realize why, right? And this committee is trying to change people for the better, to function better in the system, right? Oh, well, you'll feel better if you just go out and be kind, which is essentially, this is all spiritual bypassing, right? Just go and be kind to others. Yes, I agree, that's normal. That's a good thing to have. Let's say a good thing. It's a natural thing for us to be kind to others, to be unconditionally loving to others. But not when we're being soul sucked and drained of our energy, right? When you try to be good, that's an egoic thing. Just like being bad is another polarity of that, right? You're being bad. Oh, but now you can be good, right? But still the ego trying to do one of these things because it's trying to fit a persona, an image. Oh, now you're going to be the good cop. Oh, now you're going to be the bad cop, right? Polarity. And this is suffering. It's like pleasure and pain. The more you seek one, the more you invite the other. So when you try to be too kind, and I'm speaking from experience here, you try to be this overly good person, all of a sudden you find yourself self-sacrificing for people, find yourself overextending, and your boundaries go way down. You have no more, essentially. And all of these beings then realize that, they're like, okay, person has no boundaries, easy target, right? Who do these beings go after? People that lack boundaries, people that lack assertiveness, people that lack financial means, ability to provide for themselves, independence, emotional imbalances, traumas, right? These are the easy targets that they go for. They don't go for the strong targets that are fully sovereign, fully in their power, and they know what they're doing. They're spiritually protected, let's say, because that would waste too much of their energy, and they need energy. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? So this committee, this matrix committee, this propaganda machine, and this is essentially what I believe happens during near-death experiences, right? These beings come in and all of a sudden they play on the person's memories and they show you, oh, well, look at this and what happened to, they know everything about you. They literally see your whole life unfold. Then they send you back and all of a sudden these people, they become better people in a sense, right? They become more loving. They help others, right? They change their ways, their jobs. But they still fall into some sort of box. For the religious people, they go, or for the atheists, they go into religion. They become much more, all about Jesus and things like that, which I'm okay with. But again, you're not seeing the full picture, the bigger picture, that it's all still part of the play. It's all still in the matrix, and these beings are still in the matrix. They can't leave, right? They need to be here so they can suck the energy, and they're potentially trapped here by Demiurge, right? They're part of the Demiurge. They can't go anywhere, and they know if they come down here, they're just gonna become like one of us, trapped in the samsara and the karma, because they won't remember anything, unless they have some sort of executive ability from like some of these reptilians to come in the organic portals and retain their memories, right? But if they incarnate as a soul with the ego implant into this place, they're gonna end up being like the guy in the movie, Will Ferrell. He was an unredeemable as well, and he was Scrooge. He was the worst of the worst. So this Matrix Committee is essentially just a propaganda machine, just like in NDEs, and they're trying to create more of a balance between the good and the bad, right? So that when we walk around as Source players, we say, oh, there's another good person, hope exists. Whereas, all of the NPCs that are potentially narcissists, reptilians, whatever, that don't have emotions, they don't have that divine spark, that's all we see on the media, right? The NPCs. And then, one of the NPCs is tweaked and they're good, or maybe one of the Source players was changed. So I don't know exactly how that would work, but it's something to think about. And then we as Source players, we are essentially NPCs, ruled by the ego until we wake up, until we go off script, right? We're going to basically align with the script until we remember it, until we become aware of it. Then as Source players, we start making our own decisions and we exit the matrix, the script, the astrology, the numerology, and we say, oh no, I'm done with your play. Now if I'm going to live this life, I'm going to live it by my own imagination, my own Source creative potential. And all of a sudden, you sidestep all that built-in karma, all those built-in traumatic experiences that you were supposed to have for your learning experience. Welcome to the school of Earth, where we teach you everything, then you forget, then we wipe your memory, or you wipe your memory, you forget, then we suck all your energy, and then we make you feel guilty for not doing the right things, which you had no clue about or remember, and then send you back. It's a business, you see. And essentially that's why they go after this guy who creates division everywhere he goes, right? Again, showing another detail of how they do it, how they create scandals, most of them false, based on false evidence, and they create divisiveness, they create polarity, right? Yeah, so I mean, Will Ferrell eventually ends up going back to Earth. This guy, he becomes redeemable because he ends up saving his life by pushing him out of the way of a bus, because Will Ferrell tries going back, right? He's got the savior complex, because essentially he's running away from his guilt of what he did in his life. Again, back to the guilt of what he did in his life as Scrooge on Earth, right? So he tries saving all these people to try and make himself feel better that he was a Scrooge, that he was an unredeemable. But the only way for him to become, or to know if he's truly who he is to go back into the pits of the experience of Earth, and potentially get traumatized again. That's what he's worried about, becoming this evil narcissist again. But he finds love and all that, and this guy pushes him out of the way of a bus. And then I don't ever remember like who the other guy in the suit is, the British guy. They don't tell us who's he supposed to represent, but it seems like he's the boss or he's the director. So he could be like the demiurge, the architect. Seems nice though, kind of. He's got the sarcastic British attitude, but he basically tells, because Ryan Reynolds ends up dying, and then he tells Ryan Reynolds, "Oh yeah, your sacrifice wouldn't have meant anything without the consequences, because Ryan Reynolds was surprised that he ended up dying, and he basically ends up replacing Will Ferrell as the ghost of Christmas Present. Yeah. So watch the movie for yourself. See what you think of it. One more point I'd like to mention: at the end, they show their set. At the bottom of the set, inside is a pentagon. At the top is a hexagon. First of all, the hexagon is an allusion to Saturn, right? At the pole of Saturn is a hexagon, which essentially they're saying this whole simulation, this whole stage is coming from Saturn. Now, if you've been watching my stuff, watching my videos, following my stuff on Twitter, that makes sense, right? The 666 simulation, ego, projection coming from Saturn through the moon, Saturn-Moon matrix. And the pentagon alluding to potentially the pyramids. The pyramids have the pentagon, hexagon encoding in them, right? The 5, 6. And they could be a large part of the simulation as well. So that was some of the stuff that I picked up from this movie. And watch it for yourself. Let me know in the comments how you felt about it, what else you may pick up that I may have missed. And like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.